Welcome back everyone to your stimulus check and stimulus package update for today, Monday, March 8th, and as we eagerly await the House vote on the Senate's version of the nearly $2 trillion stimulus bill, I wanted to address some FAQ, some frequently asked questions regarding how much your stimulus check will be, who will qualify, what are the income thresholds, and several other frequently asked questions. We're going to cover it all in this video. So let's get started, but before we do, as always, make sure that you give this video a big thumbs up, smash the like button if you have been enjoying my videos, stimulate that like button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also make sure that you are subscribed, click that big red button. Also click the notification bell as well. That will actually notify you when I do post a brand new video and when I go live. And in the next 24 hours, we could potentially see the stimulus bill pass. So make sure you do have notifications turned on. You're going to see all the news reported right here on this channel. This is your one-stop shop. So let's get started and dive right in. So yes, another round of stimulus checks and another injection of stimulus into this economy is essentially certain. The Dow is way up today on the hopes of this stimulus bill being passed, now that the Senate has approved Mr. Biden's coronavirus relief legislation. The House vote is expected tomorrow, Tuesday, which will be followed shortly thereafter by President Biden's signature, and then the bill will become law of the land, and those stimulus checks can start going out. So let's cover some commonly asked questions, concerns, and inquiries, and as always, if you do have any other questions, you can always drop them down below in the comment section, where we'll do our best to answer them. So, how big are these stimulus checks and who exactly is eligible? That's first and foremost, number one. So under this new bill, the stimulus payments will be $1,400 for most recipients, and those who are eligible, their children and dependents will also receive an identical payment. To qualify for the full $1,400 stimulus payment, an individual, a single person, would have to earn up to an adjusted gross income, or AGI, of $75,000 or below. For heads of household, that figure of AGI would need to be $112,500 or below. And for married couples filing jointly, that number would have to be $150,000 or below, just like the first two injections of stimulus. To qualify for a payment, you would need a social security number. Now, will there be a partial payment for higher income earners if you're above those income thresholds? And this is where the bill gets a little bit different. This is where it differs from the first two rounds of stimulus. So yes, you would get a partial payment if you earn above those figures, but the difference this time around is that the stimulus payments would phase out much faster, much more quickly as your AGI rises. For single filers under the American Rescue Plan, the checks would decrease to zero if your income is $80,000. For heads of household, the cutoff this time is $120,000 in AGI. And for joint filers, the checks stop at $160,000 in adjusted gross income. Payments for children would decrease in the same way, so if you get a partial payment, your dependent or child would also get a partial payment as well. But under this proposal, who is a dependent? Because last time, if you remember, Democrats had promised, they had pledged that dependents of all ages would have qualified for the $600 stimulus check, but that ended up not being the case. So will all dependents qualify this time, and who is a dependent? So yes, for starters, college students are eligible dependents under the new legislation. College students whom qualifying taxpayers claim as dependents are eligible. They were not eligible for past payments, and the payment would go to the parent taxpayer, not the child. So you'd have to count on your parent to actually give you that stimulus money. Do older relatives who live with your family count as eligible dependents? There's good news here too. The answer is yes. These relatives are eligible this time. The payment would also go to the qualifying taxpayer, not the dependent adult. So that adult would have to receive those funds from the taxpayer who they are claimed as a dependent on their tax returns. But a big looming question this time around is which year of income determines eligibility? Because what's different about this injection of stimulus is that we are right in the middle of tax season. So millions of Americans are filing their taxes as these stimulus checks are going to be sent out. Which year will actually count? Because some people lost their jobs, people's incomes are different from the last couple of years till now. So many different changes, so many different variables. So the answer to that question is that it's going to be the most recent year on record with the IRS or the Internal Revenue Service. So if you've already filed your taxes this year, it would be 2020. If not, it would be 2019. That would be the year that the IRS would base your stimulus check on, the most recent year of filing. And when can you expect your stimulus payments to start arriving? Well, under the last round of stimulus, the IRS was able to get out the checks rather swiftly, rather quickly this time, because we've learned from our mistakes. They fixed a lot of the glitches that were associated with the first stimulus bill back in April of 2020. and so checks started going out within a few days to about a week to most Americans' bank accounts. You can likely expect the same timeline this time around, the same sequence of events. I would imagine you'd start seeing those first stimulus checks hit Americans' bank accounts within just a few days. If you're expecting a paper check in the mail or a debit card in the mail, well, we're going to have to wait for updates from the IRS and the Treasury Secretary. They were very good with updating us last time when it was Steve Mnuchin, very active on Twitter, and the IRS was as well. So we'll have to wait for those updates, and you'll find all updates on this channel. As before with the first two checks, you can always track the status and check the status of your stimulus payments using the IRS's Get My Payment tool. That website will be up and running as stimulus payments start to go out. Do be aware that with the number of users on the site, it could overwhelm the site, so there could be some glitches and the site could crash. So we'll see what happens this time. Now, as for previous rounds of stimulus, we still get some comments here and there, a handful of them down below in the comment section, that people have still not received their second stimulus payment. In some rare cases, they have still not received their first stimulus check. That is a very rare occurrence, but definitely few people have not received their second stimulus check of $600. So what do you do if you have not received that check yet? Well, if you haven't received it at this point and you were in fact eligible to receive it, I would not expect it to come magically one day, hit your bank account, or come in the mail. At this point, you are going to claim it on your 2020 tax returns. You can recover through the so-called recovery rebate credit. So when you file your 2020 tax return, make your claim on line 30 of Form 1040 or 1040 SR. You're going to claim that stimulus payment on your tax return. Obviously, I didn't get to every single line item under the new stimulus bill. I'm sure you guys have questions regarding unemployment benefits and other areas of spending in the bill, and we'll be addressing those questions in other updates. For this update, we just wanted to answer questions directly regarding the stimulus payment and who would be eligible, and so I do hope I answered some of your questions in this video. We'll cross our fingers that the House approves of the Senate's version of the bill, and those stimulus checks can start processing as soon as President Biden signs it. And I'll be updating you guys every step of the way. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. As always, smash the like button, stimulate that for me. Just to help with that YouTube algorithm, send a message to the YouTube gods. And if you'd like to see more content from my channel, make sure that you are subscribed, have that big red button clicked, and notifications are turned on. If you'd like to get some free stocks, use my links down below in the description. When you sign up with Robinhood and or Webull, you get free stocks, some valued up to thousands of dollars in some cases. Make sure you use my links down below and get more stocks when you refer other people, your friends and family. But I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.